Boy, listen close. I'm from a land called Sparta. I made a deal with the god that cost me my soul. I killed many who were deserving, and many who were not. I killed my father.
What's going on, everybody? It's T Reaper here, back again with another video. Okay, this is my review of God of War 2018. Before I get started, be warned, this video does contain spoilers if you do not see the message in the beginning. I share no expense, and here we go. So, this God of War, it took me straight 14 hours to complete. I was finished yesterday, Friday morning at 11 o'clock, 11:30-ish. Shout out to everybody who watched my broadcasts. I appreciate it so much. And now I can actually critique this game for what it was, and it is nothing more than an 8 out of 10 for the pure concept and the pure joy that I find at the very end of the game when I find the whole basis behind the whole adding the Atreus piece to this storyline was the concept that he is secretly Loki as a young boy. That is so stupid and retarded. Santa Monica should honestly be ashamed of themselves. Other than that, the graphics were awesome. The first 5 to 6 hours were boring as shit. In fact, I had a whole bunch of people in my comment section saying this is like a snooze fest. I do agree with that. That is actually how I felt up to the point where the Atreus falls ill because of a god sickness, and the main reason why he keeps getting sick is because he doesn't at first know who his father Kratos was or is. And I thought that was kind of interesting. The truth can, hiding the truth can, hurt a god. I thought that was kind of interesting. And then to basically fix his son, Kratos must travel to Helheim, which is basically the Norse version of hell. But the problem is his axe, which is, similar to Thor's hammer, and the concept that it was, created, by the same person, or the dwarves, more or less. He has to travel to Helheim to get the heart, but to go to Helheim and to do any damage, he must once again don what he left behind so many decades ago and don his Blades of Chaos. That point in this plotline is where I actually give it props, and that's what made the rest of the game so much more entertaining. Of course, that's about 6 to 8 hours in, and it was so much more interesting from then on out. There were certain times that I did get stuck, and mainly because of puzzles, and I hate puzzles. If you took the puzzle piece out of it, you could probably shave a decent 40 minutes off the concept. So it could have been done sooner if there was no puzzles. But overall, I enjoyed the combat. A lot of what people don't understand is, or what a lot of people weren't revealing during the IGNs and the GameSpot, is you can actually spam the living shit out of throwing the hammer. Now, certain instances, such as what you see on screen with the boss fights, kind of impractical, but, for, like, the regular enemies, it was, like, so much more entertaining. The leveling system, I had no issue there. Kind of somewhat reminded me of a decent, RPG, whereas you had to keep leveling it up, to, maintain relevance and maintain damage, superiority. I think by the time I finished the game, my strength was like over 130 or something like that. I did actually get 2 copies of this game. I got the Mason edition, and I got a digital version. And getting the digital version did let me forego the installation process, and it allowed me to start right when I got home. So that was actually pretty dope. Other than the Loki bit, this game has loads of daddy issues all the way through. It has a lot of conflict issues. when people say this game is like Rise, I still hold what I say. I don't believe this is like Rise at all. If I had to mash it with something, I would definitely say Last of Us, vibes. A little bit of Dark Souls vibes with combat, because they were right. If you're not careful with combat, you can get killed. I enjoyed playing it. Overall, the story doesn't really reveal itself until the very, very end, and then you realize what the whole basis of the story plotline was about. And it basically all starts because the son of Odin wants to, it appears that he wants to track down Kratos and his son, and he picks a fight with basically the wrong god, and then it becomes a race to the mountain to spread his wife and Atreus' mother's ashes to the highest peak. And at first it appears you were going in the right direction, and then you meet this head that talks, and or this the smartest man alive, and he tells you that's not actually the highest peak. You have to go to a different different location. So then it makes the game even longer. The other thing that I necessarily didn't like about this game is there was too much filler in this game. I feel that if you weren't constantly having to keep going from you go to this place and then they're like, oh, there's something wrong with there, then you have to go here. It was just really tedious and really annoying, and it gave my trigger fingers arthritis by the time I was done, because I legitimately did this 14 hours straight, and then I was completely done. I mean, I liked it, I enjoyed it. Now, as far as the new camera angle goes, do I think they made the right choice? I like the new camera angle. I actually enjoyed it a little bit more than the old school style. I know a lot of hardcore God of War fans will say differently, but I like the new camera angle. It it makes it more modernized, and it doesn't make it feel old. They did a decent job at refreshing it, but in no way is this a perfect 10. No way in hell. I would say if I had to give this anything, besides the concept that the first 6 hours was a snooze fest, I would say that by the time he gets his blades back, and by the time you realize what the core, the core basis of the plotline is, it's a solid 8. Now, have I seen better? Yes. Did this game remind me a lot remind me of other things? Yes. And overall, it was a decent journey, and it was definitely worth the purchase. So if you're thinking about buying this game, I would say go all for it, especially if you're a fan of God of War. The other thing that I would forewarn you about is there is a lot of drawbacks to the other God of Wars. So they say that you don't need to basically play 1, 2, and 3 to understand this one. That is actually not true. You can, but you would be missing out on the core throwbacks to what this means as a God of War, as a God of War remembrance, basically. So, this scene right here when he picks up his blades, if you did not play the original God of Wars, you would have no idea what the relevance of this actually means. You would have no idea, because you had not experienced it. In the beginning, when when he tells Atreus, I am from Sparta, I killed many who are deserving, I killed my father, unless you had played those games, you would have no idea that's what he actually did, and you would have not experienced it. So I liked it that they made it new for the new generation, but again, this does throw back to the old generation of God of Wars, because it has a lot of Easter eggs that unless you're a veteran God of War fan, you would have no idea what they mean. Is there a possibility for a sequel? I would think so by the time this ends. And where this leaves off, I would definitely say, yeah, they could do a number 5 if they wanted to. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. It was a fun stream. It was a fun journey. But I am very thankful that it is over, and I am very happy. I actually I can finally put my PS4 in cryo sleep. Anything else? The Atreus combat was... I didn't really use it that much. I only used it when, like, the enemies started getting, like, massively difficult. And then, like, you also know when you're actually near the end, when, you know, they actually tell you, you know, when the head tells you, like, if you have anything to do, you know, before we can press on, do it now. So when you hear those words, that's when you know you're at the, you know, you're near the end of the game. But overall, you know, it was 6 hours, you know, shorter than, you know, than predicted. It was 6 hours shorter than, you know, than spoken, and that just kind of annoys the living crap out of me. But overall, this is T Reaper. I had fun playing the new God of War. I am done. I was done within the first 24 hours of release, and I enjoyed it. But I have no need whatsoever to play it again. Enjoy the rest of the footage, everybody. I will be back next week with another video. I hope you guys all enjoyed. Peace out.
Can we go now? We're so close.
Boy. Carry her.
My name on the wall. The giants called me Loki? Father?
No. We do it together. Son. Goodbye, family.